Alright, today we are going to talk about the differences between the Genie and JLG tow-behind boom lifts. We're going to jump right into the towability of each machine. You'll see on the JLG here that you've got the basket on the same side as the hitch. I don't know if this is an advantage or disadvantage. I don't find it to be one or the other, but it's just something to point out. As you will see, the Genie is the opposite. So you've got the hitch on one side of the Genie and the basket on the other side. Basket's over there, and then the hitch right here. You'll see the entry to the basket on the Genie is in the front of the basket. We're going to climb in here and look at the buttons. The important thing to remember here is blue is up and yellow is down. So you would hold blue and then hold the button for the function you want. So there, blue, and then boom up. And then the opposite when you want to come down. So you would hit the yellow button and hit the same function, bringing it then down. I'll demonstrate this later in the video, but as long as you can grasp blue up, yellow down, that's really all you need to know. And then on the JLG, you have a side entrance to the basket, basically the same size basket, and then you'll see that this is all joystick controlled, so maybe a little bit of a simpler look. I think both of them are pretty easy to learn, but this may be a little bit more natural for most who have operated other boom lifts in the past. I think it's very similar to how even the diesel boom lifts that Genie and JLG make. I think it's very similar to that. So both of these machines have outriggers or stabilizers that will lift the machine slightly off the ground and auto level them. They basically work the exact same way. You just get the outriggers down and then it auto levels itself, and then from there, once it's auto leveled, it'll beep at you, let you know it's level and safe to go up, and then you can take the boom up in the air, up to 50 feet in the air actually, and they both actually go 50 feet in the air, so a working height of about 56 feet. You'll see as we bring the Genie up that it does go up a little bit differently. On the Genie, the booms are they work individually, so you can raise the top boom without raising the bottom boom, or as Genie would say, the primary boom before the secondary boom. But we're going to try and get them in the same position before we go any further. So right about here, these two booms are in about the same position, but we are going to take the Genie to another position that the JLG really doesn't do. This is what I would call like an up and over position, where the secondary boom is basically straight up and down, and then the primary boom is horizontal with the ground. So you can imagine, if you look at the building to the left, kind of getting up and over a building to get to a tree or something else. So as we walk around these booms and look at them from a different angle, you'll see what I mean. The JLG the basket is practically in the same position as the Genie, but the baskets are just getting there a different way. You still get the same horizontal outreach. You just, with the Genie, might get a little bit more up and over ability than you do with the JLG. What we're looking at here is basically what I was explaining earlier. You see this hydraulic cylinder running diagonal there. It works at the same time as the one in the base of the machine. You can't work them individually, whereas here on the Genie, you've got this one going up and down. You can work that one at a separate time than working the one up top. So it just lets you put it into a kind of a different situation, which is probably an advantage to some contractors, but to others it may never really even come into play. So you see here we've got the Genie going a little bit more upright here, so we're going to get the JLG into basically the same position, and then just go ahead and raise it all the way up to the top, and we'll get both of them fully extended for you here. You'll notice here that the JLG is you're basically able to operate it with one hand like I'm doing here. The Genie has the button system, as you'll remember, so doing it with one hand really isn't a possibility unless you have really big hands, but that's definitely a safety feature that Genie added to their machine, so that you have to be pressing both buttons at once. JLG's just happens to be a little bit different. I don't know that one is better than the other. It's definitely just kind of whatever you prefer. So here's the Genie's ground control panel. Like I was explaining earlier, you have to hold down the blue and then press the button for the function that you want. So primary boom up, you'd have to hold the blue down and then hold that button down at the same exact time, and then to come down you'd hold yellow down and then the same function button, yellow and down. We're gonna have to put the camera down to show this one raising, as I'm not able to do it with one hand. So what you see moving now is what we call a jib. It's a 5-foot extension of the primary boom. We're going to move it on the JLG as well. At the moment you can see it there at the top. But both of these booms are up to 50 feet platform height, so about a 56, 57 foot working height depending on how tall the operator is. And you can obviously do all these controls and functions from the basket, so you don't have to have somebody on the ground doing this. The man or woman in the basket can certainly do all of this from up in the air and bring themselves down. It is definitely a machine that can be worked by one person. So you can see with the outriggers or stabilizers down here on the ground just how stable this machine is when the basket's 50 feet up in the air. The ground that these boom lifts are currently on is relatively flat, minor angle, but they will auto level on a 10-degree angle. So we are going to bring them down into the towing position, and then we'll go through some of the hot topics and the pros and cons of each machine. At the end of the day, I think they're both really quality machines. I think it's really boils down to personal preference, and just maybe getting on one, giving it a test drive and seeing what you like. So here in the towing category, we give them a tie, both very lightweight and towable. The controls goes to JLG with the joystick. Upward reach is identical, and then outward reach, technically JLG gets it by a few inches. And then as we distribute it or demonstrate it in the video, the up and over, Genie takes that category, and then safety is a dead tie as well, as they are both very safe machines to operate on job sites or trimming trees or changing lights, what have you. So as always, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you have any questions, visit our website or give us a call. We are happy to help in any way that we can. Thanks. Have a good day.